to give the floor to the Governor of Nairobi, Mr. Mike Sonko. Sir, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. The President of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly, Your Excellency, Mrs. Maria Fernanda Espinosa Gazias, the Food and Agriculture Director General, Your Excellency, Jose Graziana de Silva, mayors and presidents of municipalities, fellow participants, ladies and gentlemen. It is a great honor for me to be here today to participate in this important event to discuss the role of cities in the global agenda and particularly on sustainable food systems. Africa today stands at a critical moment in history when most countries are poised for economic takeoff. Despite one or two violent conflicts, the continent is today at its most peaceful. The education levels of our people have significantly gone up, and the resource potential remains untapped. Most African countries got their independence less than 70 years ago, from Ghana in 1957 to South Africa in 1994. Majority nations in the continent of Africa are very young. Compare that to the United States, our host country today, that has been independent for more than 300 years. Governance and infrastructure systems in Africa are still undergoing development. Most African countries have undergone major transformation in the last few decades. Kenya, for example, now has the most dynamic and transformative constitution that was enacted in 2010. And just like many other continents, the population in Africa's cities continue to rise. The UN projects that by the year 2050, at least 68% of the world population will live in urban areas. This is why the role of cities in sharing the global agenda becomes very important. We all need to do more to ensure cities develop capacity to respond to the demands for services from an increasing number of population. One of the challenges that comes with this rising population is how people can buy safe, nutritious food at affordable price at a place that is near their homes. In Kenya, the government under the President, His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta, has set food security among top 4 priorities of our development agenda. This is in line with Kenya's Vision 2030 Development Roadmap and Sustainable Development Goal number 2, which aims to end extreme hunger. Nairobi was recently declared one of the top resilient cities in the world. However, we too face the same challenges that affect most growing cities. This includes a strain on services like water supply, waste management, and expansion of transport infrastructure to match the rapid population growth. Agriculture has been the mainstay of Kenya's economy and directly contributes 24% of the GDP. About 45% of government revenue is from agriculture, and sector contributes 75% of industrial raw material. Over 80% of households, especially in rural areas, depend on agriculture. One will be forgiven for thinking that with these statistics, there is an abundance of food everywhere. More than half of Nairobi's, nearly 1 million households, live on total expenditure of less than $70 a month. With this kind of budget, most of the households cannot afford more than one decent meal a day. In most instances, the meals lack basic nutrients because they cannot afford tomatoes, onions, or even fresh vegetables. Food outside the city is sometimes 10 times cheaper because of a combination of factors: a cartel-like distribution system, a market that is very difficult to penetrate, lack of market information to enable consumers make informed choices, and a small number of physical market spaces make it difficult for the poor to access quality products. In Nairobi, we have taken a number of steps to address this. My county government is in the process of constructing several markets to ensure more people have access to fresh produce a short distance from their homes. We have also set up a food system directorate tasked with ensuring that residents have access to safe food of good quality at affordable prices wherever they live. We now have a food markets information system that enables residents to know where foodstuff is available and at what price. This helps to enable consumers make informed choices, although the system is still not yet in wide use. The platform is accessible on mobile phones and will play the important role of linking producers and consumers, thus carrying out middlemen who contribute to the high prices of food. Food storage facilities are important to ensure minimal wastage. In our city, we are setting up bulk cold storage centers where fresh produce will be preserved as it is distributed to small-scale retailers. In addition, we have stationed food safety officers at all entry points in the city to check that food being transported to Nairobi is safe. Waste of food remains a major problem. The waste comes from spoilage of fresh produce during harvest, transport, storage, and sale, and also from families that throw away excess food. This is a common problem across many cities. We need cottage industries in our markets to process food that will otherwise be thrown away and which can be converted into manure for use in producing organic fertilizer. Food production continues to be threatened by climate change. We must all play our part to conserve the environment and plant trees to resolve global warming. Nobel Prize winner, the late Professor Wangari Maathai, who was from my country, Kenya, encouraged us all to increase the forest cover in the world to attract more rain and harvest more food. In line with the theme of this meeting, the role of cities in the global agenda, we can learn from developing cities on the need to have a worldwide campaign to provide safe and affordable food, as well as to minimize waste of excess food. Let me conclude by stating that most African cities today have the potential to be self-sustaining in terms of food supply and distribution. With a little capacity building and the right initiatives, we can make food available at pocket-friendly prices. As said by Karl Marx back in the 19th century during the Great Industrial Revolution, workers of the world, unite as you have nothing to lose except your chains. Consequently, I urge all nations and cities across the world to unite ostensibly for prosperity, development, and emancipation of all our people from poverty. I congratulate you for organizing this event. I hope that from here we can all learn lessons that can help our cities to become more resilient in terms of food, nutrition, sustainable development, and people-centered growth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Governor.